Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from astrolada.com. Today I'm here with one of my regular guests, my friend and partner, Zorina, who is also the owner of Healnlearn. Hello, Zori.
Hi, Lada. Great to see you again. Hello, everyone. Thanks for welcoming me.
Thank you. I really love talking to you. Zori is a Leo sun and she's like so full of life always. I really enjoy our discussions. And today we're talking about
Conscious manifestation.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're very good at that. This is what you teach. This is what you train with groups. Now you're even offering one-on-one sessions through the Astrolada website. But you're going to teach us a few interesting points about conscious manifesting.
Yeah. So the thing is, when we talk about conscious manifestation, we only think that it's a matter of the mind, matter of spirituality. We're so used to, in the spiritual community, people talk about what you have to do energetically, certain rituals that you need to do, but we completely neglect what the role of the body is. Even I don't talk a lot about the role of the body in my courses, apart from one course that I've had previously, Start a Business with Meaning, that looked at things very holistically. And this is exactly how I see manifestation to be most effective, when we look at things holistically. And so this is going to be an introduction to what we're going to be talking about at the retreat in the summer. Because we're going to be talking about conscious manifestation, the role of free will, and so on. And here I'm just going to give you tidbits of what you can expect in the summer. So let's start with what manifestation is, because everybody has a different view on what manifestation is, and I'm going to try and explain it simply. To me, manifestation is something that you wish to achieve, and it appears in your life serendipitously, miraculously, easily, something that you need to take action sometimes for, but not necessarily. So it's not necessarily something that falls on your lap. You might need to take action, but it will always be pleasurable. So this is how I would define manifestation. And in the end, for whoever who hasn't actually done any manifestation work, everybody has. But manifestation is matching the vibration you would be at when you achieve your goal, because this is usually something that you perceive that would make you happy. So that means that your vibration would be higher than if you're happier at this future point in time. So that's why they say, if you're happy now, this is where the whole, I don't know if I call it the peppy movement comes from, be happy now and you will achieve. Because you're supposed to match your vibration now with the vibration in the future that you will have once you have achieved your goal.
Can I ask you something? It's more like a moral question. I've always wondered about that. Because what if you want to manifest something that is not part of your destiny, that is not God's will for you? Maybe more wealth than is you're supposed to have at this moment. Maybe to overcome certain health issue, I don't know, whatever. Or maybe a partner that is not meant for you. And you and I've read of some certain occultists that they say you can still do that with conscious manifesting. It's energy, you can still do that.
Mm-hmm.
So you pay off for that, because you take from future credit that you have in your bank, let's say in your karmic bank or whatever, and you still have to pay for it somehow. So I'm kind of a bit worried. How do you know if this is truly for you? How do you know you are not kind of almost like making white magic thing that for something that is not meant for you?
This is where you would have to apply conscious discernment into what you really want. This is where you start applying your consciousness And that's how it becomes conscious manifestation. So I had a question under one of my videos lately, or rather a comment, that said, why do we need all these principles when we manifest? Because I was talking about manifesting principles, which I will mention now again. And they said, you can manifest anything anyhow, even without following any principles. And the thing is, you can, but the thing will either very quickly go out of your life, so it will dissolve, dissipate, or so it will be temporary, or it will deprive you of something else. Very often it happens that something else is taken away from you because you still need to learn a lesson. I mean, in some cases, as you said, you're trespassing karma rules. Mm-hmm. So how to make sure that you're aligned with your destiny? You have to know I mean, it's a process. It's not you can do it with 1, 2, 3, but what I teach people is to do it over time, to analyze themselves, ask themselves conscious question of what they really want, ask their motives and beliefs, which is the most important thing in manifestation. So what is your belief about a certain thing and why you want it? If you see that you're
selfish, then the motive shouldn't be selfish.
The motive shouldn't be selfish. So the principles, and let me just tell you the principles of manifestation, like the very high level ones. Sorry, it's really hot in Bulgaria. So, as you can see, yeah, it's close to 40 degrees. So a few of the rules of manifestation are, so first of all, your goal should benefit at least one other person or the community or the society. You need to have the interest of somebody else into account, not only yours. And I've explained this before. It helps because the energy of giving, it gives you a feeling of having enough, of satisfaction. So you're able to give. You're not in the energy of lack. You don't need to constantly receive. So by giving to somebody, you receive in return. So that's why very often when you work on somebody else's goal, you actually achieve your goal even if you haven't worked on it, if you do it with a pure heart. So I think I may have given you an example once, but I'm not quite sure. When at the end of a course that I had once, when I was learning the Silva method, and we were working in a group towards a societal goal. And then I found money and they reimbursed me for a ticket. I think I told you this story once. But and if I haven't, this is what happened. So I actually got rewarded the next day after I had worked on somebody else's well-being and benefit. And if you want to manifest something, all you need to do is have it absolutely clear. Why? So your motives and your beliefs. And it has to be your top priority. So number 5, 1 to 5. Because when you manifest, you can't just manifest on a goal that is number 20 or number 10. You don't have enough charge. You don't have enough desire.
Exactly. Desire.
Yeah. So there's not enough energy to attract it. So it needs to be, let's say, top 3 goal. Always work on the most burning topic at the moment.
So if someone
it doesn't mean that to
lose weight or have like a perfect body, isn't that a selfish goal? Maybe they're not obese, maybe they don't have health problem, but they're like obsessed to have the perfect body and they want to manifest it. That who is that going to benefit? I mean, would that be more like a selfish manifestation?
No, it's actually very, very easy to twist it in a way that benefits somebody else as well. Because you see, when you have a more beautiful appearance, then you're more productive, you have a higher self-confidence, you're friendlier to other people. So other people benefit from your services, from your good manner, or you understand? So when you're happy, other people benefit from what you have to provide. So anything that makes you happy, you just have to keep it in mind. You see, you can work on absolutely the same goal, but with a different point of view, with a different stance. Why am I doing this? How will this benefit somebody else?
Okay, so you turn the selfish into more noble motivation.
Exactly, but you have to believe it. You don't do it only to follow some rules.
Mm-hmm.
You have to really believe that what you're doing will also make other people better off.
For example, let's twist this one. Give me, I want to make double the money I'm making. How do I do it with how do I the motivation?
To begin with every goal that you set yourself, you have to ask yourself the question why, until you reach the point where it's aligned with your purpose. Mm-hmm. So when I teach the Heal and Learn method, it's a set of philosophical guidelines. It's not simply the silver method. It's quite enriched. So you have to see it from multiple perspectives. And I know that holistic view, the way when you say a holistic view, it sounds a bit worn out, but the way I look at things is not only from all perspectives of your life, including alignment to your purpose, but it's also from the perspective of body, mind, and spirit. And we'll touch on this in a second. And so, can you repeat your question? Because I just lost it for a second.
I want to make double what I'm making. It's like just so I don't know, just because I want it.
Okay, no, but so why? No, it's important to know why. So your motive here, let's find the motive. Why do you want to make double?
Oh, I'm not saying this is but okay, let's try and see. Well, I don't know. I don't need to make double.
Let's step into somebody's shoes.
For more confidence, for more peace of mind.
Yeah, but then again, we follow
to work less. I don't know.
Yes, and so you can always see the closest people around you and how they would benefit from you being a happier person.
Yeah, to take my
having more time,
family, to get them a house. Okay, I can see that. Definitely.
So that's the easiest thing. But the much more powerful thing is when what you want to achieve is linked to a societal, a bigger purpose, because it impacts more people. The more people it impacts in a positive way, the faster it appears in your life. But you have to believe it, not just make up things, because you can't lie to God. The consciousness knows what you have in mind, what your motive is.
Exactly. So instead of saying I want to make double, for example, for me, it might be I want my project that I'm doing now to reach thousands of people, because it will be very helpful to everyone, and a lot of it is for free. So I don't even focus on the money. I don't even. Just imagine how it teaches, how there is like 100,000 people using it, something like that.
You can do that as well. You don't need to focus on the money. It can be a byproduct.
Mm-hmm. That would be the best. Mm-hmm. Okay, and it's gonna help a lot of people. I feel it's gonna help. Okay. Yeah, that's actually easy. It's not so hard. I thought a lot of our desires are selfish, but when you think about it,
the key is really questioning your motives and then your beliefs. So the beliefs, I'm going to expand a little bit on the beliefs as well. Usually when we don't have enough belief that we can achieve something, it is because we have certain blocks. But with this method, you don't need to work on the blocks. There are certain people that do energy work and remove blocks. But the moment you have clarified your motives, your intention is very important, why you want to do it. And the moment you understand that your work with this consciousness impacts positively other people, you overcome blocks.
So that's like the fast track through blocks.
That's the fast track, yes.
But you need to have a clear idea. What do you have no clear idea what you want to manifest? Then you probably have to work on your blockages first.
If you have no clear idea, then you have to start with the logical mind first. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can start with the logical mind. You can use astrology as well to help you get ideas. So what you do is you start collecting information to synthesize it, that gives you a better idea, that gives you a direction, and bit by bit you start developing clarity.
So you switch on your curiosity and willingness to experiment, learn. So you start with your Mercury. There is no inspiration, start with Mercury. Okay.
I mean, and some things will feel good for you, will resonate, other things won't resonate. You can also go in alpha and explore certain paths, because when you go in alpha, you're not using it for prediction. You can peek into the future, but there is no 100% set timeline. So there are multiple pathways you can explore. What would happen if I choose this path or that path? Right. So you can also view in this realm of consciousness what possibilities there are. So sorry, let me just add the other two. So go.
The principles.
The principles. Yeah, two other principles. So first, at least one other person should benefit. The more, the better. Never to the detriment of anybody else. And the most burning topic, so never to the detriment of anybody else means for the benefit of all, right? The benefit of everybody involved. And now, I mean, to what extent do you need to dig and develop who would be affected? You don't need to develop, if I do this, the whole chain link of events that would follow this. You don't need to develop the whole thing, but at least the first impact that you would create, right? Because at some point, of course, all actions alternate and have a negative and a positive effect, just like life goes. It's never a straight line, only positive. But the first line of effect around you, who you're impacting, should be for the benefit of all.
So if you want someone else's partner, that's immediately a no, because it can impact negatively the other person.
Is it for the benefit of all? If it's for the benefit of all, shouldn't be a problem.
How do you know? You can excuse anything.
You have to be sure. You have to know 100%. Otherwise, you'll bear your own consequences. If you don't believe that you're doing the right thing, you will go out of alpha. You won't be able to access this consciousness anyhow. So if you believe that you're doing something wrong, even if you have the slightest doubt, you won't be able to achieve it. Yeah. So basically this level, when you're in alpha, it doesn't allow you to harm people.
Wow.
Yeah. So I wanted to touch on something. Do you have any comments so far on that?
You said there are a few principles. You said it was one. Did you mention them all?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
One is at least one other people should benefit. For the benefit of all involved is the second one. And the third one is you work on the most burning topic.
Okay.
Or your top three.
Top three. And you were talking something very interesting at the beginning, that you're going to talk about how the body influences manifestation, because no one else talks about that.
Yeah, very few people actually take into account the body and how it helps us achieve what we want. And in one of my courses, I actually talked about how you're able to influence your success through the sixth house of astrology. Although I'm not an astrologer, I understand quite well. So actually, you can influence your career by, and of course you know that, I'm not going to explain it to you, but you can influence your career and path in life by focusing on your bodily health as well, on the sixth house. So the body is just a denser form of energy. We are used to thinking of it as just a body, as something physical, but it is just a denser energy. So you can work with it the same way as you work with your higher vibrations, with your mindset and with your spiritual pursuits. So the way to achieve anything has three doorways: spiritual, mindset, and body. You can enter through any doorway and it will impact the other ones.
Wow. Okay, good.
Yes.
Some people might be more
So,
to do it through body, some through the mind, through thinking, some through the feelings.
yes.
Okay.
The body takes the longest, though. The body takes the longest because it's the densest energy. I wanted to actually talk about the purity of the body, because very often our vibration and our ability to manifest is impacted by the fact that our body is impure. It's full of toxins, of heavy metals, of nitrates, of pesticides, of all kinds of crap that we consume daily in the air, in the water, in the food. So I discovered recently a very interesting substance. Let's call it a substance. And I just want to make a disclaimer that this is not medical advice. I'm just going to share it and you research it on your own. It's called methylene blue. And interestingly, it was actually stopped from production by most producers. So this thing, the methylene blue liquid, can be used to purify your lymph.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember, we talked some time ago that your lymph is the internal sea that keeps you eternally young, potentially. If you're able to keep your lymph clean, pure, you extend your life, you're more youthful, and so on. And I gave you an example about an experiment that was done in the 70s with a hen.
Mm-hmm.
That had its lymph changed for 30 years, and it lived. So they changed the lymph every 3 days, and it lived 30 years.
And usually hens live what, 2-3 years?
I think about 10 years, 8 to 10, I believe, something like that.
You know, interesting, because the lymph in astrology is ruled by Pisces, and Pisces is also the sign that is about connecting to invisible worlds. So I believe that having clean lymph, which means that you don't have toxins in you, the lymph takes care of it, dumps it into the body, you excrete it. So if you don't have any toxins and your lymph is clean, the door of Pisces is open to connect to higher realities and the third eye, and connecting to those feelings of bliss that are constantly poured out on us from divine energy, but we're too toxic to feel them. And you're saying that this methylene blue actually helps in cleansing of the lymph. Yeah, I mean, Zorina is not selling it or anything. It's just...
No, I'm not selling it. I'm simply using it recently. So I'm just sharing what I found out, and you research it on your own.
Have you started using it?
Yeah, I started using it.
Do you glow in the dark?
Maybe I'm becoming blue-blooded.
Yes, apparently Zorina told me it's used to also in medicine to color your blood blue, or for the nerves if they want to see something inside your body. But it's
I know they use it for because it's a dye. It's a chemical. They call it a dye. So it's used to color bacteria and DNA and RNA strands in the color blue, so they can be easily viewed by a microscope. But that's not what's important about it. The thing that's important about it is, first, the lymph. Second of all, it helps your natural bacteria in your stomach replenish and grow, because the good bacteria in your gut actually die from all these pesticides that you use, because the normal quantity, let's say quantity of bacteria, is between 1.5 and 3 kilos. So you're supposed to have these healthy bacteria. And methylene blue also improves your digestion. And a very interesting thing is that if you Google methylene blue, you will see that it improves the oxygenation of the blood. And you know what this is good for, Lada?
What we are currently fighting.
What we are currently fighting. So it can be used for prevention even.
Mm-hmm. This is fascinating, because you see, the first thing we are attacked on, or you can say it's our own ignorance, but we're not being informed about it much, is the food, is the body. Basically, all the poisons around us, all the toxins. I mean, the government can just as easily ban all those toxins, but they're not doing it. So maybe it's ignorance, maybe it's a more vicious plan, but this is, you can't unfold your full potential as a creator when you're full of those toxins, whether through water, through food, and anything. I remember reading a book of a saint that remembered the past lifetime. She describes it as Saint Stoina, which we're gonna go to her church and to where she's buried on the retreat in Bulgaria. Whoever comes in January, I'll tell you in August. Whoever comes will visit that place. She could levitate. Thousands of people saw her levitate, and not only levitate but teleport. She was really, really high saint, and she remembered the lifetime with the Bogumils in the year 1000, and she wrote it down 100 years ago. And she described how that's where she learned those supernatural abilities. They're not supernatural. For us, they're still supernatural. There's something everyone can develop. And she described how it took her 4 years. And the first year, how it all started. So this initiation process always started with purifying of the body, which meant for 1 year she had to learn to control her appetite, to eat minimum, very simple things, nothing animal, maybe just bread and vegetables and pure water. And they told her, her grandmaster, whoever was training her, told her that it was because she needs to purify the body to create this is the first step in everything. This strengthening of the purifying of the body to start this creative process of manifestation. Because what the high initiates and yogis are, they're just very high level of manifesting. For example, they can imagine something and it becomes a reality much faster than us. They've speeded up this process that you're going to be teaching us to levels of supersonic levels. I guess I just want
to supersonic levels is quite funny. I don't know if I will teach it to this level yet. But
sorry, I wanted to say that when I used to drink more, that was my weakness. Once a week, binge drinking it. You'd be fine on the next day, but for the whole week, my brain was never too focused. I was not too centered. And since I stopped, I've noticed that manifestation happens faster. What I want, is it a gift from God, or is it just my vibration is higher? Anything that might help me, anything that I need appears much faster. It's a little bit by magic. So again, I see what you're talking here, that the body is so important for manifestation. Thank you.
The body cannot let you vibrate at a higher vibration unless it's pure. So all of these things that you mentioned, of course, mindset is important. Of course, spiritual practices are important, but don't neglect the body. So the body needs to be oxygenated. It needs the bacteria. You need to get rid of all the heavy toxins that are keeping you down, because these toxins also influence your mood. People get sleepier. They get panic attacks. Sometimes they can't sleep. So insomnia in the night. You either get overly sleepy or you get insomnia, so extremes. Addictions are very, when your body is poisoned, you're more prone to addictions.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can poison yourself not just through the food, through emotions, through some kind of trauma as well. And that's what pushes to addictions. Wow, incredible.
Yeah, it's all interconnected. The thing is, people tend to believe, I've talked to a lot of people that focus on a certain method or a certain tool, and they're convinced that when they use only this, it will fix everything. But you need to look at everything that you're approaching from multiple perspectives and to understand it, to put consciousness in what you're doing. So understand motives, how it works, why am I doing it, who is it impacting? So the whole ecosystem you need to understand. Usually manifestation is seen as something separated and this one thing I want to achieve. No, you want to improve your whole life in general, I would suppose.
Yeah. And it's almost like a chain reaction. When you start on one thing, all the others first is very hard, especially if you're very clogged with poisons and heavy. Like I tried for years and years to improve my food, to improve my energy, to stop drinking, and I just couldn't. It was I'll succeed for a few days, but I couldn't. And then I said, okay, now resolutely I'm gonna become vegan, and I've been almost vegan. Sometimes I would eat some raw cheese and things like that, but mostly vegan. Let's say 90% of the time. And this started the process that started decreasing my desires for because I guess it's detoxing. You start detoxing with a lot of juices, freshes, and it started decreasing my desire for drinking. Then I stopped drinking, and now it's just on a like a ball is rolling down the hill. Everything becomes effortless when you're clean inside. Things that I didn't have energy for before, working out, waking up, doing new hobbies, experimenting, trying new things. Everything felt like a burden to me. It was like nothing was giving me much joy. And the only thing that can lift me up was have a bottle of wine or something. It was ridiculous, despite of having happy children, great business that's running. And when inside you're not clean, it's everything is an effort. Everything is like, ugh. And since you start with one thing, I removed one thing, the ball started rolling, cravings decreased, then I removed another unhealthy thing, and there's all connected to the body. And now I feel like 20 pounds lighter and motivated and enthusiastic. So it's taught, but it all starts with the body. With the body, I've tried working on my mind for years, but until I eliminated some of the poisonous substances, the mind couldn't, the feelings couldn't be powerful enough to turn around the tide, so to speak. So I'm so glad you're talking about the body, because I would say it starts with the body. You can start with one thing, little by little, add on more, and then it will be like the ball will be rolling on its own. So it is
right. Without the body, you cannot achieve it. So let's say you can't be super spiritual anyhow if you are putting garbage in your body. It's all connected. It's just not possible that you're putting live DNA from other species in your body and be at a high vibration. I'm talking about meat. I had somebody come to my course and she had a very good observation. She actually said that whenever she was going back and forth between being a vegetarian and not, and she said, whenever I started eating meat again, I would notice that bad things would happen to me. So I would attract people screaming at me, lower vibration. So immediately. And the interesting thing was my child that is 4 at the moment, he doesn't eat meat. But when I come to Bulgaria, my mom believes that it's an essential part of his diet. So she sometimes gives him meat. And I can tell, this year not anymore. But last year, whenever she gave him meat, he fell, he hit himself. There was always some sort of an accident.
Wow, mine do it without eating meat when they have meat. But absolutely, but I don't think everyone should not eat meat. If you want to be spiritual but you're not there yet and you feel strong craving for meat, I believe like maybe your body needs it, because that would be artificially stopping meat. It's Bin Saduno says a habit like not eating meat and never craving it, and the body not needing it, might take 4 incarnations. And he said you're carrying the genes of the hundreds of generations that have eaten. But I've noticed that I don't have, since the age, I became very spiritual around 14, 15. And I just, the taste of meat, I don't like it, the smell. You need to get to that point that you don't really like it. The only times I would like meat and I would crave it is after drinking. So you see, again, one thing drags you down. You drink, for example, something else, and it drags the vibration. So you can tolerate and actually even enjoy the taste of meat. I'm sure that there are a lot of people that don't drink but love the taste of meat. But I also want to say, don't force it too much. Unless you're really dedicated to a path of of self-improvement and not doing it for selfish reasons only, doing it for spiritual reasons. But I've noticed a lot of children nowadays, they do not want to eat meat. They're not drawn to it. My children, I always try and give them, when there is a barbecue, whatever, they might have one bite and they don't want more of it. So there's some people are born already not not liking that. But I don't want you to say that, well, I'm a bad person, I'm not spiritual, I still feel like eating meat. Well, I've been spiritual since 14 and I drank till 38, 9, so it's sometimes it takes time, but if you keep your mind focused on that desire and you study and reach, there will come a moment when it will be easier. You'll get the willpower at the beginning for a little bit, and after that you will lose the desire. But you just have to keep that vision, let's say, that vision of that ideal of yourself in your mind, at least. Wouldn't you think so?
I think there are a lot of spiritual people who are also highly spiritual and eat meat. And I'm even reading a book now that's called Healing with, it was shamanic healing. And the medicine man talks about their practice of eating meat, because most shamans in America and in Canada, they're eating buffaloes and whatever. They're born like they're brought up this way to eat meat. So he says that what they do is they take a piece of their meal and they bury it and they give thanks. So they return it to the ground. So it really depends also on the consciousness you place on this meat and on the gratitude you give to the animal. Because I don't know if you know, some animals, like some hens and other types of poultry, they actually, when they're about to be slaughtered, they stretch their neck, they allow you to slaughter them. So it's a dubious situation now. I mean, I can't say eat meat or don't eat meat. I'm just saying that if you want to and I'm not saying what is the right thing to do, because clearly if nature stretches their neck, kill me, I'm gonna serve you even with my death. To that extent are animals serving the human.
Wow.
It's incredible. Yes. Yeah. So in the end, if you want to raise your vibration, you can approach it any way you want. You can decide to stop meat. In any case, if you have cravings, as you said, it's better to eat it and be happy than to be nervous and believe that you're following a spiritual path.
Yeah.
You have to love yourself and satisfy your needs as well.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm trying to say, that at the right time, those cravings tend to disappear. When is the right time of a spiritual path? You just not have the taste for it anymore. That doesn't mean you'll never eat it again. I don't think it's like, that's it, I'm never, but you might just be like, oh, I'd much rather have a bowl of something else, And that's how it happens. And a lot of people I've heard also with drinking or smoking, there comes a moment they say it was very easy, I just stopped wanting it, so that's how it happened with you, isn't it? You said you used to be a drinker, and then you started doing spiritual work and you just lost the desire for it.
Well, I never had an addiction to alcohol, but I used to drink, especially when
company, but I always beat myself, because I always knew from little, if you're spiritual you should not drink, and because it's like that was something my dad used to tell me, so I would always beat myself for it so bad, but I always had the desire for it. For me it was till recently, it was like that was the only joy in my life, and it's with and it, as I keep saying, it kick-started with changing my diet, and then those strong desires and cleansing for a couple of months till these desires for craving started disappearing. Anyway, sorry, we're digressing now.
What I noticed, I mean, the positive thing from me not drinking is, first of all, you're right about being low after drinking. So, for example, that I go to Shaman Joe and Cindy's sessions, and they said that whenever you go to a sun dance or to any other spiritual shamanic energy work, you shouldn't have drunk for 3 to 4 days, because your vibration is so low. So they don't take you to the shaking tent, to Sundance, to anything if you had drunk the previous 3-4 days. So I had noticed that when I was drinking, first of all, my skin was worse. So your skin becomes a bit coarse when you drink. It shows in your body, that's it. And of course you feel worse. You're not at your best. You're not as energetic. Your mind is not as sharp.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but some people have strong enough spiritual power inside of them to be able to do it and do the spiritual work. But if you want to give yourself the best chance. But thank you so much, Zori. By the way, Zori is doing now personal consultations if you're interested. Uh, you can work with clients on setting their goals. And what exactly do you do in personal consultations?
So I also teach them the silver method, but in a session, I can immediately walk them through entering alpha state, and we can together work on a certain problem that they have, solve a problem, work on manifestation. We can work on goal setting, on finding purpose, on love relationships. Basically, it's a very holistic consultation depending on the need of the customer, but it revolves around these topics.
Wonderful.
Manifestation, purpose.
Yes, this is
I can teach you healing.
Yes. Oh, you helped my brother when he entered his stupor. Zori immediately entered alpha state and started correcting his energy. She saw an entity there, and within 24 hours, he came out of his catatonic state. So that was fascinating when you did it. So this is fascinating work that you do. Zori, thank you so much again for joining us. Always fun and deep and interesting discussions with you. And can't wait to see you at the retreat in a month and a half. There's still, we have a lot of couples. I think we're 20 people. So there's still a few places left if anyone wants to join us to this incredible event where we'll dance, lectures, walk a lot in nature and spiritual places. We have a full program for you, a lot of surprises. Very excited.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
We're also, thank you. No, I was just going to say that we have the schedule already and you'll be sending it out for anybody to see what we're actually going to be doing. It's great. We're excited.
Oh, we'll be playing like kids.
Yeah.
Have a great day. Thank you everyone for joining us, for listening to our girly chit chat. And have a wonderful week ahead. Bye-bye.
Bye.